Is this you? You've tried to start a new habit, and then you notice that after a while you kind of fall off the wagon and then you fail. Or for example, you have got really excited about something and you're excited for about a week or maybe 2 weeks, and then you weren't excited about it anymore. Now, what happens when you fail to show up for yourself? Most of the time what happens is you tell yourself, I'm not good enough. You tell yourself, I always fail. You tell yourself, see, I knew it. I never get anything right. Now, the problem with this behavior is this is a habit that your brain has created, and it will keep going on and on and on. And the more your body gets used to this habit, guess what happens? You try and start something, the back of your mind, maybe not the conscious, but the subconscious, already knows you're gonna fail. So before you even start, your subconscious knows you're gonna fail. So then you start and then you fail, and then you kind of get it back to yourself. Oh yeah, see, I knew I was gonna fail. Because whoever we believe that we are always staying true to that person. So if I think I'm a procrastinator, I'll always procrastinate. If I think that I'm not good enough, I will never be good enough. If I think that I'm gonna fail at something, I will fail at something. Now I'm gonna tell you today, neurologically, what's actually going on behind the scenes. And then I'm going to ask you the most important question that you could ever ask yourself. And you get curious about what the answer is to that question. So neurologically, what's going on in your head? Well, we are a product of our past. We've got two minds, the conscious and the subconscious. Now, the conscious mind is present, 10% of the day. It's when we're paying attention to something. It's when we're really focused on something, thinking about something. We are using our conscious mind. But it's not the conscious mind, the one that decides to start the habit, that's going to actually fulfill the habit. No. That's your subconscious mind. So who is the driver of the subconscious mind? Well, you are the designer of it, and the driver is the record player. Because it's a record that keeps going round and round and round and round. But you designed it at one point when, most probably between the age of 0 and 7, when your brain was in theta brainwave. So when your brain is in theta brainwave, you're kind of in a suggestible state where you download information like a sponge. So for example, you learned your mother tongue between the age of 0 and 7. You don't remember learning your mother tongue, right? But then when you grow older and you are developing your conscious mind, then learning a language, it's much harder, right? Because you got to think and pay attention and be conscious. So when you were in theta, that's when all of the beliefs about yourself were programmed. Now, unless you've gone to see a coach, for example, like me or somebody else, you will be acting from a library that was actually designed years ago when you were a little child. Now, every time you're accessing that library, which is every day, you're reconfirming your past and bringing your past into the now. That's why you seem to be dating the same type of person all the time. I always end up with people that are like this. Why do I always end up with people that don't really care about me? You end up trying to start new habits that you fail at. Why do I always try to go to the gym and then I never follow through? Because you're living a record from your past that was designed through the fears and beliefs and values and everything that got downloaded from your past. So for example, if you don't believe that really you're good enough, and that's one of your limiting beliefs, then maybe when you grew up, you were actually craving one of your parents' love. For example, your dad was working a lot away and he wasn't home that much. And then when he came home, you were trying to be funny, or you were trying to be smart, you were trying to be cute, you were trying to be good at sports or something, so that he would see you. Now, he acknowledged you then, right? Because you were trying to be all these things and he acknowledged you. But then he went away and traveled again, and your brain in theta decided that I'm not good enough unless I am perfect. So if I'm not showing up perfect, I'm cute, I'm funny, I'm intelligent, I'm not good enough. So what do? You believe that you're not good enough most of the time. So when you start something, your brain's already decided, I'm not good enough. So you start something because we want to be true to what we believe about ourselves, right? You started something, then you fail, then it reconfirms that you're not good enough. And somewhere in a weird, creepy way, we feel comfortable because it's our comfort zone to not be good enough. That's why you keep sabotaging for yourself. But the question I want to ask you today is the most important question in your life. And it's a very simple question. And the question is, do you love yourself? Anna, what kind of question is that? It's the most important question of your life. Because here's the thing. If you only love yourself when you do succeed, when you do, look cute, when you have lost the weight, when you have made the money, when you have made the decision to be great, when you have started the business, if you only love yourself in those moments, then your love to yourself is conditional. But most of the time in between that, you don't actually love yourself. Because it's not unconditional, it's conditional. So what happens when you don't love yourself? Well, if I don't love myself, then I don't respect myself. Then I don't really care about myself that much. So therefore, if I fail, I already knew I was going to fail because I'm not good enough. I don't care about myself. So how do you expect to ever succeed in your life when that is the blueprint that lives in your head? Now, you can either go on being that person, being the victim, or you can make a decision right now today and say, you know what? My past is my past. Screw the past. The past does not define my future. It defines who I am today, but I have a choice right now to become everything that I secretly wanted to become, but I would never say out loud because I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, whatever it might be. So I'm gonna give you 3 steps today that I want you to follow to be able to turn your life from being a loser and a victim to being a leader and living in greatness. The first thing you gotta do is you gotta figure out what the hell is going on in my head. What are the limiting beliefs that live in my head? I'm not sexy enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not rich enough, I'm not good enough. I mean, there are multiple ones. And by the way, somehow they just make babies, these limiting beliefs, and then they just become more and more and more and more, and they multiply in every single way. And the funny thing of all is, what is good enough? I mean, really, if you say I'm not good enough, okay, well, how do you know you are good enough when you are good enough? What is being good enough? I'm sure you couldn't answer that, right? What is being pretty enough? What is being intelligent enough for you to think it's okay? There's never going to be an enough because you're chasing something that when you get it, you won't believe it's there because you don't believe in yourself. So you'll keep chasing. Guess what happens? People will take advantage of you. You'll meet the wrong guy or the wrong girl who would treat you bad. You'll get fired from jobs and then you blame it on your boss, but it's actually you. So figure out what are the dominant limiting beliefs that live in my head. That's number 1. Number 2. Shit, here's the blueprint that lives in my head. No wonder I feel like crap most of the time. Great, so you got to figure out, if I don't want to be dominated by these limiting beliefs, what is the person that I want to really become? What kind of things do they tell themselves? This is when the fun part comes in. Making your avatar, right? Designing the avatar. How does that person speak to themselves? I am mighty, I am great, I am magnificent, I am sexy, I am rich, I am wealthy. Because remember, being rich is not about money, it's about the state of mind, right? It's about what you tell yourself. You can be wealthy and not have thousands of dollars on the account, right? You can still be wealthy because it's what you believe. It's what you believe. So you got to create the avatar, the person that has everything that you want, and everything that you tell yourself is supporting the person you want to become. So your energy is going to go that direction, not into what you don't want, which is part of your past. And you practice that. Remember, it's all about repetition. And then you become the person that you are dreaming of becoming. So the 3rd step, what is it? Practice. It's easy. It's so easy. It really is. What would that person do right now? What would that person say right now? How would that person act right now? Every day you practice that person. And to be able to practice that person, what do you need to use? The 10% of your conscious mind, because that's the one that's paying attention. Here comes a crap thought. Take that away. Get rid of that crap thought. Tell it to bugger off, whatever. And then you go, what would be a thought I would want to say to myself if I was that person? And then you just practice that. If you get hungry and you do this, like I'm talking about like a maniac, you do it all the time, I'm telling you right now, 2022 will be the best year of your life.